6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire!
There is a new space race. The world's largest countries are aiming for the moon in search of new resources. One of the smallest on the planet, the Faroe Islands, will now join them, with one difference. Their space program will never leave Earth. Instead, it will make the most of the lunar resources we already have on Earth, tidal energy, the Faroe Islands Space Program.
We really aim to emphasize the importance of exploring how can we harness the moon's energy right here on Earth to generate energy for the world.
We intend to start decarbonizing societies and ultimately make our planet and all human activities we are currently not doing in a sustainable way, renewable and sustainable.
Through the tidal forces that are created by the moon, there's abundance of tidal power that we can actually harness.
To use tidal power, a natural resources that is completely untapped on Earth, it makes a lot of sense. Instead of going sort of out in space, let's use what we have here on Earth first.
Combined with storage possibilities such as batteries or green hydrogen can actually be used for baseload electricity.
Working in a project like this for a sustainable future, that is dear to my heart and also to SKF's heart, so it is quite inspiring.
Hello Yvonne, thanks for speaking to us today. So I suppose the first question I want to ask is, what is your role in the project and what is your background?
My role is application engineer, which means that I handle all the technical analysis and ensures the performance and a reliable operation of the SKF products.
So I'm SKF's Global Application Account Manager for Ocean Energy. So basically in simple terms, a commercial lead for SKF in this business. Building up all the relationships with key customers and making sure we are delivering what our customers wish for.
My name is Terje Nielsen. I'm heading the R&D department here at SEV in the Faroe Islands. I've been in the company for more than 26 years.
I am the CEO of Minesto. We are the inventor and the owner of the space technology that we're talking about here.
Can you explain the story of SKF's journey from a traditional ball bearing company to a company now committed to reducing friction and driving sustainability?
Everything started with an innovation in 1907, changing the world of how rotating equipment works. And we have been on that journey of technology and innovation since then. We have been dedicated to really use the world's resources to the best. And in the latter years, we have also looked at a lot of how we use energy ourselves in our own operations. That's also a part of being in the sustainability realm.
So can you explain in your own terms what moon energy is?
The moon's gravity attracts the water, which is creating a bulk. And depending where the moon is really positioned, it's creating ebb and flood types over time.
Through the tidal forces that are created by the moon, there's abundance of tidal power that we can actually harness.
You can basically plan very much in advance when the power is available, when you can start harvesting this tidal energy and when not. Combined with storage possibilities such as batteries or green hydrogen can actually be used for baseload electricity, which is a big advantage, I would say, over wind and solar. It will help basically in the future energy mix to increase the level of overall renewable energy shares.
It's predictable. We know exactly, normally we say 100 years ahead, exactly when we have the tides. Obviously knowing that they go like 6 hours in one direction and 6 hours in the other direction, but we can plan with it. It's not like wind and hydro that you have to, it's linked to the weather. Huh? This is not the case for tidal energy.
Framing it as a space program that never leaves Earth, we and our partners, we really aim to emphasize the importance of exploring how can we harness the moon's energy right here on Earth to generate energy for the world.
The lunar kite is the star of the show in many ways. Can you tell me about the Luna 12?
Luna is an underwater kite that sails in the tidal stream to generate electricity. It works like a kite flying in the wind. It uses the hydrodynamics to move forward, and by steering the kite in the figure of an 8, the water speed gets several times higher than the actual stream speed.
There are 6 core basic principles how to harvest tidal energy. This is horizontal axis turbines, horizontal ducted turbines, vertical, hydrofoil, the Archimedes screw and the kite principle. And the most common principle, which is more or less the wind turbine principle, so the horizontal axis principle underwater, is getting mainly used in tidal by now with all advanced OEMs out there.
As you are making an application to harness renewable energy, you need to design that rotating equipment. And we support our customers there with how they choose the best products and how they actually create the best application of rotating equipment that they can ever do. But we also help them actually to predict the future. How will that rotating equipment actually work in the field? And then in the field, we help them with sensors to actually see how that turns out in reality. And all of this is how we then support our customers.
So what we do is that we fly this system, this Luna 12, as a kite underwater. It's tethered or stringed to the seabed, and when the tidal current hits the wing, a lifting force is created, and the system will move by the flow, and we control the way it moves, and we've chosen a trajectory that is 8-shaped. A turbine and a generator on board is brought into motion by the through flow through that turbine, generated by the moving system. And the electricity is generated on board and then transported through the tether to the seabed and then to electricity users on shore. A current commercial scale device is rated at 1.2 megawatts, which will be equivalent to around 200 large villas in the Nordics, where you also use electricity for heating.
They have hundreds of people, experts behind them that support them through every part of the way. There's a steel expert, there's an expert on bearing design, there's an expert on seal design, there's an expert on specific rotating equipment, that we all support each other to support our customers there to make the best designs that they can do.
Why also is it then important for us to raise awareness about renewable energies?
The usage of renewable energy is important to get independent from fossil fuels, as they are basically infinite resources and obviously harming our planet. We should get independent from imports of these fossil fuels. You have seen what the Russian and Ukraine war really meant for the energy availability in Europe. We intend to start decarbonizing societies and ultimately make our planet and all human activities we are currently not doing in a sustainable way, medium and long term, renewable and sustainable.
We have a lot of wind and rain in the winter months, but not so much in the summer. And that is actually where we have a bit of sun. These resources are quite linked to the weather, where we have not that much wind and rain. Obviously, tidal energy or tidal streams are not linked to the weather at all. It's only linked to the phase of the moon. That's why it became interesting to us to look into that technology.
Any renewable energy technology will have an extremely important impact on all life on Earth. So reducing carbon emissions is positive on the planet scale in all ways. We have had an enormous amounts of collaborations with universities, and today there are no detected risks related to what we do.
With new industries like a tidal, we can create new jobs and also stimulate economic growth, because ultimately when we are building a strong sector, we can also export these technologies elsewhere in the world, where there is a good tidal potential. And then it comes down further to other key arguments, a better air quality, better water quality, public health, and innovation and technology, as just said. If possible, also do it in a very efficient and affordable way, I would say.
Friction is basically waste, you can say. So whenever you have friction in the form of sound or in the form of heat, it is waste. If you reduce the friction, you actually reduce the waste of the system that you are running. Reducing friction is, of course, at the heart of having energy-efficient solutions across. And that goes, of course, for many areas in sustainable energy. Areas like tidal power, but also in areas of hydrogen capture, or in the areas of electric vehicles, or in the areas of wind power. All of these sustainable industries benefit from reducing friction.
Of course, you want to minimize the friction as much as possible. That is taken care of in the early development phase, when we do the modeling of the bearing arrangement and adjust the bearing choice to have the least friction in the bearings.
Reducing friction has been really at the core of our DNA since our whole history. Way to fight friction. You can do that through many ways, but if we take that through our core product, the bearing, you can do that by perfecting the design of the bearing. You can do that by using the best materials that possible. And also, you can do that by designing the whole application with our bearings and our products inside in the most efficient way. You want to use all of that energy to output for the world. So any percentage of friction we can reduce goes straight into a better tomorrow, a better world, and using the energy for good. So friction is at the heart, actually, of creating renewable energy.
So what are the challenges of developing technology to be used in the ocean?
Well, the biggest challenge is, of course, to avoid seawater from entering the bearing arrangement and the other components. If you get seawater into the arrangement, you will not only get corrosion on the bearing and the components, you will also deteriorate the lubrication, which will worsen the operational condition. In Luna, we have SKF sealing system in the two rudder shafts and in the elevator shafts. So I'm quite confident that we will have a nice and dry environment for the bearings and the other components.
There's a lot of heat generated. It needs to be protected from moisture. It's a lot of rotational force to deal with. And also to help us with controlling rudders and protecting them. It's a long journey of full system testing at different scales. And then an equivalent journey of different subsystem testings, generators, rudder actuators, control system hardware, you name it, to get to where we are today, a system that works really well.
It's time to demonstrate the long-term commercial viability of this industry, reduce the levelized cost of energy to come closer to already established renewables like wind and solar, attract private investments in the sector. Currently, there's a big focus from the European Commission on providing grant funds to enable this sector, but going forward, really private investments is key to roll out scale manufacturing and ultimately also do further optimization of advanced technologies, increase reliability, robustness, and again, lower costs for lifetimes of up to 20-25 years, that they can really survive in a harsh sea environment reliably enough.
Our main goal is to provide our customers with affordable, green, stable electricity. So a lot of our investments goes into ancillary services like batteries and synchronous condenser. So we are able to accommodate all the new technologies like tidal energy or wind or solar.
It's a completely unique technology, protected patent-wise from Inesto's side since many years back. There are a lot of first-generation solutions that have tried over decades to harvest the energy from the enormous power in the moving oceans. And I believe the biggest difference between what we're doing is that we can reduce the total cost of energy dramatically because we're using so much less material and weight of the systems. Our design, the concept we're using, is specifically designed to be able to harvest energy at competitive costs when there is low flows in the ocean, which means that the market will be 10 times larger because there's so much low flow resource all over the world.
For Luna, I got involved really early in the development phase, and that is an insurance to secure the durability. Besides, already from start, when I designed the bearing arrangements, I followed the SKF bearing selection process to secure that you handle all the different aspects for the bearing arrangement, and also considers, of course, the harsh environment. And all the bearing arrangements, they were also modeled in SKF Simpro software. So then you could, already before the kite is built, you can predict and find risks and design them out before the kite is built and launched into the ocean. And besides, we also have several sensors equipped on Luna. As example, the turbine is equipped with SKS sensors, so we can monitor the performance.
Many of the advanced technologies that we provide to our customers are based on a number of technologies that are important to us, like materials and steel technology, like technologies of how to design bearings, software and digital insights, predicting the future of rotating equipment. These are at the heart of our core technologies and what we bring.
These devices need to withstand a very harsh seawater environment for at least 5 to 6.25 years of maintenance intervals, which is certainly a challenge, and an overall lifetime of 20-25 years. So this would and will still require a lot of innovation going forward.
What is your vision for the Faroe Islands in 2030?
The company vision is to become 100% green in terms of electricity generation onshore. So that is actually what we are doing and have been for quite some time, to prepare the electrical grid and the infrastructure to accommodate all these new projects in terms of wind, hydro, solar, and tidal energy as well. We have been in the different straits in the Faroe Islands to measure tidal streams. So we had enough data and measurements available when we found a suitable technology for our project. And then we presented this at some conferences around the world, and there we met Minesto, and they immediately saw that the tidal flows in the Faroe Islands were very interesting from their perspective, because their technology is quite suitable to low flow areas.
The fleet now of the big craft is, as I said, it's only one system. Then we have some smaller cousins that have been in operation for a few more years. So that was the start of this conceptual design, this configuration that we have now. So there are 3 in total generating to the grid at this test site.
Minesto is a good example of where we are collaborating through this whole chain of technology and innovation, and how that actually supports the customer to design the best tidal kite that you can ever create. So the Minesto kites, powered by the turbines that are equipped with the SKF technology and innovation, that is a brilliant example of how we collaborate with customers and even suppliers as well. We have always been a company that thrives on innovation, technology, and bringing the right solutions. Everyone is looking at the potential of how can we extract resources from space and other planets. And this is one way to do it right here on our planet, to really harness the tidal energy from the moon in this case for the better of the world, and how technology and innovation drives actually sustainability, but it also drives business success for us, for our customers, but it also drives then for the Faroe Islands.
How did this project come into existence?
Minesto contacted us because they needed some engineering support with the predecessor of the Luna 12. So we started to collaborate. We find a way through their problems. And then I also got involved early in the development of the Luna kite.
SKF has been a strong partner to Minesto from the very early days, but the role has grown to now being a a strategic partner on the drivetrain and the power takeoff system. When everything is growing at scale, more forces, more focus on reliability, on really pushing mean times between failures, the strength of a technology powerhouse such as SKF is of great importance to us.
How has collaboration been important in this project?
Collaboration is where we take our knowledge, our technology and innovation, and our great people to work with our customers. They are the experts on tidal energy and how do you harness the tidal energy with these kites. We are the experts where we can come with our knowledge on exactly how does that rotating equipment work. You know, the metal to metal, and in between you have the lubrication. How exactly do you perfect that in a rotating equipment? We know that best. And as we come together, that's how we create magic.
We brought SKF on board early on this, and their role has grown as we've grown with scale and challenges related to reliability and robustness of the systems. Without world-class engineering expertise in core areas, getting bearings in those really tough conditions to work, we will get nowhere. And also that a large company takes interest at such an early stage as SKF is doing. So that also takes patience and investments from a larger player such as SKF to really be helpful at this stage. And that is what is happening also.
We have been engaging into this emerging industry from its infancy. For us, it was important to get involved early, learn from the prototypes, from the demonstrators, from the field testing. We are now very well positioned with an holistic system portfolio around the rotating equipment, around the rotating shaft. So from bearing seals up to sub-assemblies, for example, main shaft units connecting the rotor hub of a tidal turbine with the generator or gearbox up to fully integrated powertrain solutions. This can be now all delivered from SKF as a one-stop shop, makes a real difference for us now in this segment. And we are very happy that we have this position now, and we are even more excited to grow finally with the whole sector and ramping up manufacturing.
Why is this taking place on the Faroe Islands?
It's taking place in the Faroes, primarily because of a very strong collaborative setup with the local utility. We have a lot of support in making grid connections work cost effectively, in permitting, in support in all ways in working here locally. And then, of course, the resource is really good. The conditions in the Faroes are really good, with deep waters close to shore, sheltered waters in between straits, and a modern grid, or a small array or underwater, let's say, park of units will be of big commercial value from day one. We could take care of all electricity generation for the Faroe Islands with tidal technology, but it will not be cost effective. Around half of the energy should come from tidal. Then we should use hydro and wind in a good energy mix.
We see collaboration and knowledge sharing as key in this journey of ours toward 2030, because we are a small, isolated, islanded power system. We need to gain from experiences from elsewhere. On the other hand, we have pretty good knowledge how to run an islanded electricity sector, so we can also share our knowledge to others. On a global scale, very important to share knowledge and collaborate on these projects.
I was deeply involved together with the Minesto development team, and also at SKF. We had a team working tight together. From SKF side, it was me, it was the account manager, the application engineer for seals, and several other supporting people. And we worked in close collaboration with Minesto, and the results, they came due to our collaboration, and that is actually the best part.
We built a lot of our knowledge into digital tools. We're using generative AI and AI to really make that come alive, and we support our customers through digital tools with all of the knowledge that we have. As we do this, we create efficient, reliable, sustainable energy systems together with our customers in collaboration. And that is actually very much a part of our DNA.
And besides working in a project like this, for a sustainable future, that is dear to my heart and also to SKF's heart. So it is quite inspiring.
So my final question, and I think it's a very important question, is what's the best part of working on a project like this?
It is a fantastic playground for, I would say, young, enthusiastic engineers, where I have been once. As it's still an emerging market, I think it's not focused on one activity. We are growing our team, and we will have soon, for, I would say, each discipline a resource, but we are not there yet. So basically, I'm doing sales, I'm doing business development, I'm doing project management. Sometimes I'm doing even purchasing activities, or at least help purchasing. And this makes it really exciting, because you can basically look for your own talent and how does it fit really to the demands of the market. And pretty much entrepreneurial. No one with an SKF, for example, has done it before. And we can set our own targets as we want and as it makes sense for SKF and ultimately the market and our selected customers. So that's very exciting and rewarding. That's also the reason why I'm doing this already for more than, I would say 15 years.
With this, do you have any favorite anecdotes or stories that have come out of this project?
Yeah, I can tell you that last year in November I got the opportunity to travel to Faroe Islands together with Minesto. And Luna was on land for service, and they were preparing her for be launched into the ocean again. I visited the site and could look at Luna and how big and impressive she was. And to take in this size, and that I am the girl who did several of the bearing arrangement. And then there was another occasion last winter when Nestor called me, and they said that Yvonne, now Luna is she's launched into the ocean, and we can see it at our screens. She's now delivering electricity to the grid.
Oh, amazing.
Sustainability, as it has grown of importance in the world over the last 20 years, actually feeds right in to what we did already in 1907. So the innovation and the technology that supports sustainable areas is actually what we have always done. We are a traditional ball bearing manufacturer, but we also bring technology and innovation for a more sustainable world, as we have always done. And now the world is, coming to pace with us, I would say.
The world is catching up with us here.